Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another morning coffee talks. Hey, sorry about that yesterday, man. We didn't get the morning coffee talks video out, but I showed up with some love on doing a reaction video, which my goal is to continue to do those more often, kind of get back to doing those second videos a day. I'm close to my personal goals. It definitely start as far as fitness, weight loss, and stuff like that. We're right at the finish line, so I'm just like really pushing to get to where I really want to be as far as like weight wise. And again, as we get closer, I'll talk more and more about it. However, we are 3 months into this year. 3 months into this year, so um, I want to just check in with you guys. Are you still motivated? Are you still disciplined? I just really want to see where you guys are at, because the truth of the matter, as we know, time is flying. And the question is, are you just still locked in? Are you still pushing forward with that same motivation and discipline that you had on January 1st, right? Or have you started to slip? So, if you have started to slip, I wanna kind of help you guys stay on track, overcome some dips in motivation. Just make sure you finish the year off strong. And so, again, whether it is your fitness goals or something you got going on in your business, or starting a business, your marriage, your self improvement, I just want to say, man, this is your reminder just to stay locked in, even when it starts to your motivation starts to slip or starts to fade. But before we really dive into it, make sure y'all like the video. Subscribe and share it out. Just to keep these conversations like this going. So, but yeah, 3 months into the year. How y'all holding up, man? How y'all holding up? Do you still have that same fire, from the beginning of the year? And if it has started to fade or to dip or whatever, I would say you got to understand there's a difference between motivation and discipline. And for me, I've always known, especially now, that motivation is temporary. Right? It's good to have a kick of it. It's kind of like having caffeine, right? It's like you have good sustained energy, but sometimes you need the extra kick to kind of like, kick in the gear, or right before you go to the gym. It's like pre-workout, right? It's temporary. It doesn't last like that all day. And so yeah, it gives you that excitement when you need it. I haven't had motivation in a long time, but I love when I get it, right? I love when I get it because it's just a good adrenaline shot, just to kind of, help you even give you more of a reason to push through. But again, it's just temporary. It don't last forever. Now, on the other hand, discipline is permanent, man. Once you lock in and once you start to see the benefits and you start to understand that it's a superpower, that's what's going to keep you going, even when you don't feel like doing things that you need to do that's in your best interest, right? Again, just think about fitness, man. Everybody in January starts strong, right? But by March, April, or probably even sometimes February, the gyms that have empty, people don't fell off already. And it's just so funny. I have a young lady who anyway, listen, like I'm in sales. I come across it's a lot of women who work in just out in the field, right? A lot it's that's just the ratio. There's dudes out there too, but most of the women who the ones we always talk about fitness. Anyway, that's why I always bring up a lot of women, but they the ones who talk a lot about fitness. And a lot of them, again, January we started talking about it. Here it is. They already back to the old routine. So I ain't knocking because I've been there too. But I say all that to say those conversations was back in January, right? And here we are in March. And yeah, the conversation changed. Yeah, I get back on it. I know, right? Because at the time we spoke about it, it was just motivation, right? They were just excited, like, oh, I want to do something, which is great, actually, which is great. However, it's the discipline that keeps you going. But the only way to really tap into discipline is you have to change your mind state. You have to change your thought patterns. You have to change. basically your environment too, the way that you operate in the environment. Something has to change if you want something to change, right? And the thing about it is, you have to do check-ins with yourself along the way, right? You just can't. It's like when you're tracking your weight loss, right? For me, I check it. I track it every day. Really, honestly, I track it every day. I weigh in every day because I track my food every day, how I eat. One thing I do need to start tracking is my sleep, but I say that to say, as you're tracking things, you get a metric, right? And you can start to see, how you trend, right? It's a trend line. And that kind of help you gauge in black and white as far as how you're doing versus kind of like thinking about how you're doing. It's the same thing as budgeting, man. You want to save $1,000, you have to be intentional, right? You have to know how much you need to save every week, every day, if that's how you want to do it, and then also every month. And that way you can see, are you staying on track with you saving $1,000? And that's the same when it comes to your fitness. The same when it comes to your business, right? If you have a 10-point plan on, hey, this is number one to start the business. This is point 10 is when I'm ready to launch it, right? Or whatever, or I deem it successful. But you have to have metrics to be able to track where you are. And a lot of people don't do a progress check, don't have a goal on how they checking in and how they going about, hitting them goals and stuff. So that's another thing that's important. Like people speak about, what they want to do, but they don't have a plan behind it. So also, man, don't quit. Adjust, right? Don't quit. Just adjust your plan. Listen, nothing along this journey is gonna be perfect. So again, if you feel like you've fallen off, don't give up. Just kind of recalibrate it. Just kind of recalibrate it. Don't quit. Just be like, all right, whatever I was doing just then had me fall way off. I gotta adjust it next time. Just get back on the horse. All right. And again, don't. This was one of the biggest things that hung me up when I was starting it. Right. My journey of quote unquote being successful in my own right. I would overlook the small actions. Right. I would overlook them, and I would not hold them as in high regards as the big successes. I would just overlook them. But those actually count more than the big wins because those are the things that add up more than just the bigger goals that you hit. So don't discount the small wins. Don't discount the small actions because those are the things that constantly move the needle. Those are the inches, right? I talked about me playing sports, playing football. Football is a game of inches, the same as kind of life. Don't discount you. Too many of us celebrate the first downs. Too many of us celebrate the touchdowns. But you got to remember, in between those 10 yards are inches along the way, right? So you got to know that those small wins, those inches as you run into play count. All right. So we have to get away from just relying on motivation, and we have to instead rely on habits, right? Yes, it's good to set goals, but you also got to track the progress, right? And yes, there are going to be results that are slower, not always faster, or smaller, not always big results, but don't get discouraged when you see those, all right? So listen, in the midst of all of it, now that we on month 3, you have to also revisit why you doing this. What made you start in the first place on January 1st, right? What was you thinking about leading up to January 1st when you was like, man, you know what? The new year on the way. This is why I want to start on January 1st to hit my goals, whatever that is, right? You got to get back locked into that mind state of why you wanted to do it. And the other thing is, we have to start raising our standards on things that's non-negotiable. My health now, I used to be negotiable with it. It's no longer, that's just the standard. Like me being in shape, me treating my body a certain way, me going towards my success it's non-negotiable now. I told you guys, again, if I know a lot of you guys might be new watching my videos, some of y'all been watching for a while, but it got to a point where, yeah, I didn't have standards for myself. And now, through this transition, it's just non-negotiable for me. My goals, I've burned the bridges. I can't go back. I mean, not the bridges, the boats, or you can say the bridges. We going towards our goals. We floating towards this island. We landed on the island. We burning the boats. We not going back. We can't go back. Either you gonna make it or you gonna die trying, right? Because life too short, man. It's very beautiful, but we only here for a short time, not a long time. So, again, be accountable. Revisit your why and raise your standards to not negotiate with yourself, right? And I think that's gonna definitely again help you guys if you've fallen off, and I'm thinking a lot of you guys have, to just get locked back in and be. Yes, you need motivation a little bit just to kind of get you started, but the thing that's gonna sustain you is definitely gonna be discipline. So, again, if you have fallen off, or you just need a reminder, here it is today to go ahead and get back on track, man, because you gotta love yourself, right? We only 3 months in. We got some months to go. So I hope this video was a good reminder, to help you guys just lock back in and be like, man, he's absolutely right. I have started to dip. I have started to fall off, but I'm glad I watched the video and now I can get back on. So I'm glad I was able to do that for you guys. But anyway, hey, drop a comment below. Subscribe to the Husband Code if it's your first time watching, or you've been watching for a while, subscribe as well. Also, if you got any value from this video, hit that like button. And also, hit that notification bell because we're dropping videos like this every single day. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace and much love.